एथनिक मीडिया सर्विसेज और फेडरल ट्रेड कमीशन के ज़ेर एहतमाम अमेरिका में 2022 में होने वाले टॉप स्कैम्स पर खुसूसी ब्रीफिंग का एहतमाम। स्कैम्स और फ्रॉड की शरह में कमी के बावजूद छोटे कारोबार और सार्फिन $8.8 बिलियन से हाथ धो बैठे। अमेरिका में होने वाले 5 बड़े फ्रॉड्स में ऑनलाइन शॉपिंग फ्रॉड सरे फहरिस्त रहा। सार्फिन को सरमायाकारी फ्रॉड के बायस $3.8 बिलियन से महरूम होना पड़ा, जिसमें अक्सरियत क्रिप्टो करेंसी फ्रॉड की थी। देखते हैं ह्यूस्टन से खुसूसी रिपोर्ट। एथनिक मीडिया सर्विसेज और फेडरल ट्रेड कमीशन के ज़ेर एहतमाम अमेरिका में 2022 में होने वाले टॉप स्कैम्स पर खुसूसी ब्रीफिंग का एहतमाम किया गया, जिसमें एथनिक मीडिया की सरबराह सैंडी क्लोज ने ब्रीफिंग के मौजू पर रोशनी डालते हुए मुकर्रिरीन का तारुफ पेश किया।
Welcome to today's Ethnic Media Services Zoom News Briefing, co-hosted today by the Federal Trade Commission, the country's leading federal agency charged with protecting and enforcing consumer rights. I'm Sandy Close, EMS Executive Director, and your moderator for today. Today is one of my favorite annual briefings, when we get to hear from the FTC about the hottest scams of 2022 and the ones that cost us the most in hard-earned money that literally went down the drain.
ब्रीफिंग में फेडरल ट्रेड कमीशन की नुमाइंदा मारिया मायो का कहना था कि स्कैम्स और फ्रॉड की शरह में कमी के बावजूद छोटे कारोबार और सार्फिन $8.8 बिलियन से हाथ धो बैठे।
So first we saw a decrease in the number of fraud reports received compared to 2021. In 2022, we received 2.4 million fraud reports compared to 2.9 fraud reports received the year before. So that's about a 500,000 decrease in the number of fraud reports that we received. But in spite of that decrease, the dollar loss reported was staggering. Consumers reported that they lost more than $8.8 billion to fraudsters, the most ever reported. And you're probably wondering, what were the frauds that consumers lost the most money to? What contributed to this huge monetary loss?
ब्रीफिंग में इजहार ख्याल करते हुए फेडरल ट्रेड कमीशन की अटार्नी रोजारियो मेंडिस का कहना था कि जालसाज और माली फ्रॉड करने वाले अनासिर लिसानी बरादरियों को ज़्यादा टारगेट करते हैं और अनोखे अंदाज में निशाना बनाते हैं।
There are scams happening in multiple languages in all these various communities. So the site is set up not just for the people that speak these languages, but also the advocates, the media as well, to help us try to get the word out, that there is information out there that is downloadable, that is shareable, to help people avoid and spot scams and know what to do about it. And also, like what Rosario mentioned, report the fraud to us. We really, really want to hear from these individual various communities about the fraud and scams that they're actually seeing. Whether that be with the help of someone who speaks English or not, we really would love to get those reports in from reportfraud.ftc.gov. So I hope that that's helpful.
फेडरल ट्रेड कमीशन की कंज्यूमर एजुकेशन स्पेशलिस्ट क्रिस्टीना मिरिंडा का इस मौके पर कहना था कि लिसानी कम्युनिटीज में जालसाज फ्रॉड के लिए उन्हीं की ज़बान इस्तेमाल करते हैं, जिसकी रोकथाम के लिए कमीशन ने लातादाद ज़बानों में लोगों को आगाही फराहम की है।
I don't really have much to add. I think there was one question about romance scams. And yes, those are, as you heard, it's a huge problem. People lose a lot of money on them. I can tell you that from experience, I have been working with several ethnic communities where people have been telling me that romance scams is an issue in their families, in their communities, and so I think that what I would say about romance scams in particular is that it's so important to talk about them. I think people, underestimate talking about scams and the importance of it, because the more that you talk about it, the more people will be aware that maybe that relationship is not really, it's not real, or will see the sign of a scam.
Let me